Hey physics squirrels. So I'm going to go over how to do the direction for the magnetic forces on wires as well as on positive charged particles and negative charged particles. And that's the FBI gun law that I have been talking about or referenced in the notes. Middle finger, index finger, thumb, and all three of these things are always 90 degrees apart. Now, the index finger stands for the current or the velocity if we're talking a charge. The thumb is for the force. And no, I'm not going to flip you off if you're wondering. But this one here, the middle finger, that represents the direction of the magnetic field. So what I need to do is I need to position my hands into the correct way to solve these questions. Obviously, I know a lot of people have already gotten the answers because there's 6 options and you have 100 tries. So if you couldn't get the green check, I don't know, man. First thing that we have to talk about, some notation, because we're dealing with a 3-dimensional problem that's being displayed on a 2-dimensional screen. So we still have right and left, we still have up and down, but we need the 3rd dimension forwards and backwards. So the way that they've done this, it's a standard across all of physics. The dots mean it's coming out of the page and towards your face. And the X's mean that it's going into the page or into the screen and towards your face. Or I'm sorry, away from your face, away from your face. So this first one, I'll do a handful of these as we go through. This first one, 1A. So my middle finger needs to be pointing away from the screen. So I shape my hand and I get my middle finger to point towards my face because dots mean that it is leaving the screen and heading towards me. My index finger now needs to point down towards the bottom of the screen while still keeping my middle finger pointing towards me. I can even say I put it on my nose, make sure it stays in the correct position. Index finger is pointing down towards the bottom of the screen and my thumb is pointing to the left. So the answer to this one would be to the left. Let's go ahead and actually make the screen a little bit bigger as we do the next one too. So 1B shows a magnetic field going that way. So shape my hand. Middle finger needs to be pointing this way towards the right. Index finger needs to be pointing up towards the top. And I see my thumb is pointing at the camera. So that means it's pointing towards the screen. It's pointing towards the computer screen. So I will minimize this really quick and we'll turn this to into the page or towards the screen. Let's just check these two really quick. And boom, boom, good. Let's move on to 2B. In 2B, I'm sorry, 2A. We'll go on to 2A. In 2A, what they have done is the magnetic field is dots and the force is up. So in this case, they gave you force and they gave you a magnetic field. They did not give you current. And your goal is to figure out what's the direction of the current. So middle finger represents magnetic field. Those are dots that need to be pointing towards me. The force is pointing up, so I need to arrange my hand with my middle finger still pointing towards me, with my thumb pointing up towards the top of the screen. At this point, you can see my index finger is clearly pointing to the left, so the answer to this one would be left. So we'll go to the left. Let's go on to 3A. In this case, I am given force and current. So force and current, the current was up towards the top of my screen, so index finger is going to point up. My thumb needs to point to the left of the screen. And you can see that my middle finger right here is pointing right at your face. That is pointing at my camera, so that would be into the page. So we'll go into the page, we'll submit, and we'll check it out. So this one was good, this one was good. Let's take a look at Mag 3 really quick. And in Mag 3, whoops, never mind, that was the wrong one. Oops. Okay. There's one thing I do want to clarify as I come back to Mag 2. So this rule with our right hand, it works perfectly if we are doing a wire or if we're doing a positive charge. If you're doing a positive charge that's moving, you change this index finger from being current, you change it to the velocity. Let's say you have a negative charge. Since negative are opposites, no right hand, use your left hand, but everything else is the same. It works automatically if you just switch and use your left hand for negative charges. Hopefully you found this helpful, and yeah, enjoy. Clicky click.